CW.
A group of teens spotted a man drowning in a Florida lake, but instead of pulling out their phones to call 911, they filmed the man's death. There have been 2 water deaths in Fargo this summer. So Valley News Team's Molly Casey asked residents what they thought of the video.
They just watched him drown?
That was really sad that they just stood there watching the guy.
On July 9th, a group of teens spotted a man drowning in a Florida lake. They could hear him calling for help, but the teens chose to film and mock him from the shore. On July 12th, police received a missing persons report and found the man's body in the lake a day later. Fargo has seen 2 drowning deaths this summer, so residents we showed the video to were appalled.
As a human being, to not try and not to do anything is wrong.
Can't imagine not intervening in that standpoint. It's sickening, actually.
I mean, they could have saved a man's life.
Under Florida law, the teens were not required to provide aid or call for help, but they could have.
They just want to have it on camera instead of helping others.
It's all about them. It's all about video.
The teens could face misdemeanor charges for not reporting the man's death. But the question remains, why didn't they call for help?
Anybody with a conscience would not let someone drown.
They had time to videotape it. They were pretty much mocking it, making fun of it. There should be consequences.
From Fargo, Molly Casey, Valley News Live.
Coming up after weather, Spicer's out, Scaramucci's in. A major White House shakeup to end a tumultuous week. Plus, family members are standing by a West Fargo woman who's been named in a federal investigation that involves scamming millions of dollars from our healthcare system. But first, our storm chaser Eric Whitehill caught a small tornado while he was out earlier just south of Glendon, Minnesota. We're also getting damage reports from the Bemidji and Bagley area. The Beltrami County Sheriff's Office saying there were trees and power lines down, but they avoided pretty serious property damage. But Robert, it's been an active night for us in our area with severe weather watches and warnings. So who's in the clear and what can we expect for the rest of the night?
No one in the clear at this point. Hopefully we can get Eric's video up at some point during the newscast. Current temperatures with some showers making their way on through the Fargo-Moorhead area. That has cooled down to 75 degrees. Those winds out of the east at 9 miles per hour. Temperatures elsewhere across the region, a mix of some 60s and some 70s, still 84 down into the Aberdeen area. Winds variable across the region. Some of those winds gusty, especially in and around some of the showers and thunderstorms. In terms of the severe weather, strong and severe thunderstorms around the area. Still a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of the area. The big blue box, that in effect until 11 o'clock. Another watch off to just our southeast, that in effect until 2 a.m. We'll take a ride around the area and look at some of these areas. One severe thunderstorm just outside of our area that continues to slide off towards the east, and some strong storms in and around the Elbow Lake area. Those storms sliding off towards the southeast at around 25 to 30 miles per hour. Up in the Fargo-Moorhead area, a few showers, some sprinkles lining up and down I-94 from Fargo over towards the Valley City area. A little bit of lightning with this activity as well as it pushes off towards the east. Off towards the west, we do still have with this severe thunderstorm warning for this storm making its way up into northwestern portions of Dickey County and southern portions of Stutsman County. That capable of producing golf ball sized hail. And just northwest of the Bismarck area, this storm, a confirmed tornado with that storm sliding off towards the southeast. As we zoom it on out, a lot more storms off towards the west and the northwest, so a very active night. This watch again expires at 11, but likely to see more severe weather off and on throughout the next 3 to 4 hours and maybe even beyond that, and we'll continue to monitor that as we head through the rest of the evening. Still an enhanced risk for severe storms where you see the orange basically from I-94 off towards the south to the South Dakota, North Dakota state line. So in that area, the highest risk for severe storms, slight risk elsewhere overnight. And even in the slight risk area north of Bismarck, we got a confirmed tornado on the ground. So the primary risks tonight will be some hail, some damaging winds, but an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. As we head through the overnight hours, here are the storms. And again, we'll see more of those redevelop as we head through the overnight hours, sliding off towards the southeast, and we'll have a risk for some strong and potentially severe storms. Overnight lows getting down into the 60s. As we head through the day tomorrow, we'll see a chance for more showers and thunderstorms developing, especially across the northeastern half of the viewing area. And some of these storms could be strong and potentially severe. It'll be a little bit cooler out there, but quite cold aloft. So we could see some hailstorms with this activity as we head through the day, and can't rule out some isolated funnel clouds, or maybe even a brief weak tornado. Here in Fargo, we start off your Saturday into the mid-60s. By lunchtime, we're going to warm it up quickly into the lower 80s. By later on in the day, it's going to be a breezy one. Temperatures in the upper 80s with a chance for some showers and storms, potentially severe, especially just to the north and east of the Fargo-Moorhead area. Picture of the day, summer on Thief River. Thanks to Lois for sending that in. A spectacular shot that we're going to use as the background to our 7-day forecast. And stormy time, but once again, especially the northeastern half of the valley on Saturday. Cooler, dry on Sunday. Monday, we warm it back up into the mid-80s. Mid-80s again on Tuesday. And we'll continue with 80s throughout the week with a chance of storms Tuesday and again on Thursday. So a stormy time of it out there. We've had numerous damage reports out there. Golf ball sized hail in some locations and trees down, trucks overturned, and we'll continue to gather that information, and we'll let you know and inform you whenever we have more severe thunderstorm warnings throughout the night.
Okay, thank you, Robert.
You got it.
Outrage tonight at the mayor of Minneapolis as she was announcing the resignation of the police chief following the police shooting of a yoga teacher. She was shouted down by protesters demanding her resignation. Danielle Nottingham has the story.
Minnesota Mayor Betsy Hodges' announcement to ask for and accept the resignation of her city's police chief began peaceful enough.
Chief Harteau is not in a position to lead us further.
But shortly after announcing the chief's replacement, protesters took over the event.
We do not want you as the mayor of Minneapolis, and we're asking you to resign.
Leading the cries for justice, John Thompson, a best friend of Philando Castile, who was shot and killed by a police officer from a nearby department last summer.
You have been ineffective as a mayor, and we're asking you to step down.
Many of the people in the room newly energized by Saturday's police shooting of Justine Damon, an Australian yoga teacher who had called 911 to report a possible rape in the alley behind her home. Mayor Hodges listened for a few minutes before leaving the meeting without finishing her statement, and others took over the podium. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
We've posted more details about that story on our Facebook page and online at valleynewslive.com. A man is dead and another is seriously hurt after a two-car crash. It happened on Highway 71 near Monaga around 9 o'clock this morning. A Honda Civic was driving southbound when he drifted into the oncoming lane and ran into a Chevy van. The Civic came into a rest on the opposing lane's shoulder, while the van's driver went into a ditch and then hit a tree. The 31-year-old New York Mills man driving the van was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, while the Monaga man driving the Civic was killed. Authorities have not yet released the identities of the two drivers. A Palm Springs, Minnesota man is in jail in connection with a hit-and-run crash that put a Detroit Lakes man in the hospital with serious injuries. Randy Lee Kettle is facing charges of criminal vehicular operation, with a judge today setting his bail at $100,000. Court documents obtained by Valley News Live say Kettle was driving a car he borrowed when he hit the bicycle from behind Tuesday night. Those documents say Kettle left the crash scene. The man on the bike, Jared Moran, is hospitalized in Fargo, listed in fair condition. Kettle is also facing a felony domestic assault charge that investigators say is connected to the case. His next court appearance is set for a week from Monday. A Grafton, North Dakota man is charged with multiple counts of burglary and theft in Walsh and Cavalier counties after being arrested back in January. Authorities say Victor Moreno was charged with 5 counts of burglary and 4 counts of theft in Walsh County District Court earlier this month. Now, Moreno was arrested on January 30th on several charges, including 2 counts of terrorizing, felonious restraint, and domestic violence. 2 search warrants were executed earlier this year, turning up stolen items from other counties. Moreno is back in court in August and is due in Cavalier County Court at the end of this month. Officials with the Walsh County Sheriff's Office say there are also charges pending against other suspects related to the burglaries from several counties. One family member of a West Fargo woman arrested as part of a national healthcare fraud investigation says there's no way it was her. Shelly Bracken says there's no way her niece was involved with this. She met us at Island Park this Friday, telling us that her niece here in the orange jumpsuit is heavily involved with her family, takes great care of her kids, and is deeply religious as a member of her Fargo church. Shelly says this whole thing is a shock to the family and urges you to believe her because she has no reason to lie.
God have mercy on those who lied on my niece. Have mercy on their souls. And I'll pray for them. I I got to go with it's in my heart and what I know about Tanette and what I believe, and not just my faith. Not just my faith. This is not Tanette. Y'all got the wrong one. They got the wrong person on this.
Tanette Brockins lives in a Habitat for Humanity home in West Fargo. Now, it's unclear if this situation will affect that situation. A major announcement from the White House on this Friday. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer has resigned. Spicer had some contentious moments with the press corps during his 6-month tenure, but his resignation came in spite of Trump's request that he remain in this position. Multiple sources reported that Spicer was unhappy with President Trump's decision to hire a new communications director. Anthony Scaramucci was appointed as communications director today. Sarah Huckabee Sanders will be taking over Spicer's press secretary duties. North Dakota's Attorney General has bad news for us. Wayne Stenjum says 2016 crime statistics show a significant increase in drug arrests. The state's AG pointed to 4,866 drug arrests reported in 2016, which is an increase of 11% from 4,382 in 2015. The report shows a 5-year trend of steadily increasing drug arrests and offenses. If you want to see a complete summary of the statistics, go over to valleynewslive.com and click on this link. A 10-year-old Duluth girl is recovering at home tonight with 9 stitches after being bit on the foot by what experts think is a fish. Maren Carlson was being pulled on a paddleboard behind a boat when she stuck her foot in the water and was bit 25 times. Maren was taken to the ER where she was sedated for her stitches and is now walking on crutches. The fish, it's believed to be a muskie. It's now become a target for one motivated dad.
I will get it. I will find it and hang it on my wall when it's all done.
Maren is said to be doing well and is taking the whole incident in stride. She's expected to recover from her injuries by the end of the summer.